Hello everybody, this is BB, and you are watching my channel Encrypted Ritual. Today I was going to talk about kind of where my head's been. I've been planning to make this video for a little bit, and it's just hard to do, and I'll get into that a little bit shortly. I'll basically be talking a little bit about kind of the cycle of guilt and shame and anxiety and learning to, learning to start letting go of things. This past fall and winter, really, like, kind of since moving, I've gone through a lot, like, emotionally and physically. Like, it's just been really heavy. It was a really heavy winter, and there have been times where I've really been struggling to do much of anything, to get really not even just work done, but to do things I enjoy, like not finding any comfort or way to de-stress. And that kind of led me into feeling like a sort of cabin fever, and like I couldn't get away from my problems, which are largely within myself. Couldn't really change anything, and because, like, I mean, being outside and being able to walk around and do stuff is really important for me to be able to mellow out. And yeah, anyway, so the last few months I've been focusing a lot on trying to get back into just a lot of, like, healthy self-care and a lot of introspection, just figuring out what I can do to be my best self and continue moving forward and getting to where I want to be. Basically being as proactive as possible within my capability of doing so. I've been reflecting a lot on both past and current behaviors and different mindsets that I've had. I've also had a major shift in November of what we refer to as a social front. So basically the way that I interact with the world. And I mentioned in my gender tag video about infinite selves, like, there used to be a whole bunch of people that kind of very heavily influenced how I would be, and now, while those people are still around, they're not as directly contributing. Now it is like one or two people in particular, and then there are people that basically get a lot of our crafting work done when they're capable. As I do more of these, I'm sure I'll get more comfortable talking about that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think the biggest thing has been starting to accept what I can change and what I can't change, and being the awareness between the two. And there's a feeling that Sky and I talk about sometimes, the feeling of being on a precipice, and basically, like, it's just this feeling in your gut that, like, you can either stay stuck where you are, or you can move forward into where things may be harder. But it's the right thing to do, and it's usually something that happens before really big life changes if you actually, go with your flow. So I've been feeling that a lot, and I'll have moments of, like, just this extreme clarity where I really want to be sharing and I want to be talking about these things, and then if I don't do it right away, then I immediately kind of, like, hole back up into myself. That's the reason why I've been kind of, like, so hesitant about making this video, is because I guess I get shy. I don't know if that's not even shy. I don't know. I don't know how to be open with other people, and learning to be open is possibly going to be a process, but I want to be. I feel like it's a necessity, because I've never really been I've never been a person that really lies. There are things that I've not told people like, because I felt like it was for my own safety, so I will omit things about myself. But usually they're pretty easy to find out. But like, I am trying to get more in the habit of just being full disclosure up front. I would rather people know who I am when they're dealing with me, so that I can then like find the people that don't care and hang around those people, and then the people that either judge or dislike me for being who I am, then they have the option of just not being there, and that's okay. The other reason I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to continue making check-in videos and like just, I guess, blogs about life or whatever, is that it'll be an easier way of tracking my progress. And yeah, it's also just, it's forward momentum that gets me in the habit of making videos on a regular basis. I will get more used to editing, and I have so many ideas for videos you don't even know. Just all these different things, and that's the problem. I weigh myself down with so many ideas, and yeah. Anyway, let's talk about guilt and shame. There is nothing that can be more limiting and counterproductive than allowing your own personal guilt and shame to weigh you down, and to let the guilt and shame others have press on you and make you feel weighed down. Because you have to do you. And starting to recognize how much of the guilt and shame that I feel on a regular basis, and trying to figure out ways that I can change that. It's like an ongoing and difficult thing, but it perpetuates itself when I don't do anything about it. For an example, like, I will start to make videos. I will draw things. Like, I'll be really productive art-wise, but if I'm not recording it, if I'm not uploading it like right away, then I feel like I have totally failed at life. And or I don't feel like I did it good enough, or whatever reason. And so then I don't post anything else because I haven't finished the thing that I started. And I'll start other things. So like, again, like, that's just like the beginning of one of many cycles that I notice that I do. And so I'm working on that. But it really ends up killing my motivation. So yeah, when I get stressed enough from falling into these cycles, like, it goes beyond just like being depressed and feeling like I can't do anything. Like, I start going so far away from my own body and into my own head that I can't even like process the world around me. Like, that's I think kind of been one of my brain is saying self-destructive, and in a way it is self-destructive, but it's also self-preserving at the same time. It's been one of my coping mechanisms, an unhealthy one at that, but it's what my brain and body has done over the years, is that I check out when I get stressed, and then obviously nothing happens, and I am becoming more and more aware of when it happens, and the things that trigger it into happening. And so, like, working on not being so disassociated all of the time. I also, though, I'm at this in-between point where then I am very sensitive and I get very grumpy. But I'm working on it, getting better. So, coming kind of to the core of talking about guilt and shame stuff, and I know this is just kind of like, I'm tapping into a very broad topic about life, and there are a million things that I could be talking about, but at the very core of some of the problems for me is that I recognize that I've lived my entire life constantly being told in one way or another that being myself is either not acceptable or not enough. And from some people it's been just a malicious thing, misery loves company. And then other people, it's like they're trying to do their best and they're trying to look out for you, but they're using their own personal experiences and trying to put them on you in their ways that they're trying to be helpful, and their life is not your life. But yeah, through the conscious and unconscious toxicity of other people, I really just kind of stopped sharing myself with much of anyone. Like I share pretty much everything with Sky, and have been, like, over the past few years, a few people that I've started to feel comfortable enough to share bits of myself with. But like the grand majority of people, like, I'm just kind of floating half the time when I'm interacting, and it's made me like it's to a point where I don't really know how to interact with people a lot of the time for an extended period when they're talking directly to me. I don't really process the feelings of other people very well, at least when it's in direct relation to me. Like, I can watch people analytically, but like trying to watch people analytically while they're interacting with me is like a whole other ballpark, because it's just so much more information and it's too much for me. But I've realized how damaging that it's been for me to basically recognizing that, like, while people have loved and cared about me, they've not necessarily accepted me for who I am in my entirety. Like, yeah. The hardest thing about it is the fact that, like, a little more than a year ago, upon realizing how much other people have affected me, and the fact that they have constantly tried to change me and get me to fit better in with the world, because most of them want what's best for me, but they don't know what's best for me. Like, I realized, because so many people did not accept me for me, that, like, although I accepted myself for being different and didn't want it to change, I I didn't know how to like or love myself. Like, coming to the realization that, like, I I attached so much to Sky, because Sky was one of the first people that really just accepted me for me, like, in my entirety, with all of my faults and flaws, um, and enjoyed them and just wanted to see me grow, in whatever way that I grow. Like, I attached to it so much because I wasn't capable of it myself. And there have been a couple people I've met in my life at this point that it's been like the same thing, where they've just like regardless, they've liked and been supportive of all aspects, and it's caused me to, in my quest to become a healthier person, start looking more at how to learn to like and love myself. It's hard to talk about these things. This is why I'm, like, drawing it out, and I apologize if this video ends up being really long. Okay, next little bit. So that leads into me talking about healing. And as I was saying, like, I accepted myself, like, as, like, I mean, from a young age, I knew that I was different, and I didn't want to fit in with other people. I just wanted to be me, and I lost a lot of people as I continued to grow, the more I was myself, and I didn't fall in line with other people, and I was just like, whatever. And that's why I kind of, like, really ended up retreating into myself and not interacting with most people. The acceptance is not the same as loving myself, but the awareness of that allows me to then put a lot more focus on what I can do to start working on that. And I've been doing a lot of meditation. I've been doing a lot of work with my own energy, and that's been helpful and will continue to help as I figure myself out and do the things that I need to do in my life. And I think one of the biggest things about learning to love myself is really starting to do the things that I know I need to do and I know I'm capable of, but I don't do them because I've shamed myself out of doing them. Because I think that other people won't accept me. More specifically, it's not even that. This is the thing. It's not even that, like, other people won't accept me. It's that the people I care about wouldn't accept me. But it's like I have people that I know accept me already, and their biggest frustration is seeing me run face first into a wall over and over again instead of just doing what I need to do. But basically, I'm starting to ask myself questions about what don't I like about myself and why. What do I like about myself? And what can I do to improve? And it can be little things. All right, I'm going to see if the dogs let me finish because they are harassing me. They are both hovering and staring, but they have laid down now. So I was basically saying that hand in hand with learning to like and love myself, the biggest hurdle is learning to let go. And when I say that, it's letting go of a lot of things. And I think that that's a part of learning to accept, like I was saying, the things that you can and can't change. So one of the biggest things is that I cannot control other people. I cannot control what other people think. I cannot control what other people do. I can put my voice out there in the world and people can do whatever they want with it. And I can't change other people. I can't like force someone to take my help, or my advice or anything. Just letting go of the idea that, like, I have really sway in anything but my own life and my own choices. And I'm not saying that people can't be affected by you, but I'm saying that it's kind of like up to you how much you're affected by something, or someone. And when you're not in a healthy state, there's plenty of the time where you can't hear other people. And you might hear them and their advice might just not be for you. So part of me learning about how much I've damaged myself by other people trying to help me and me not wanting it, or it was just advice that wasn't for me and me not being able to say it. Like, I then in turn have to look at the times when I've tried to do that with other people. So letting go. And then, and I went on to just say, kind of as a side note here, that it's the nature of people to try and manipulate and control, and I don't necessarily mean this in a malicious way, their environment and other people. And it's because, like, it's based on your experiences and your own programmed behaviors from society, from how you were raised, etc. Like, there are so many things that are just built into us that we automatically do, whether or not they're good for us or other people. And we don't want to see other people suffer. At least most of us don't want to see other people suffer. And so I think that sometimes people just don't realize that they hurt more than they help when they try to change you in order to help you. Just tying into that again, letting go of my expectations too of other people or assumptions of other people. I just got to do me. Other people got to do what they need to take care of themselves, and I can sit and be patient while they heal or they choose not to heal. And I can be there for people when they want me to be there. But there are things that can't be changed because people don't want them to change. I want to change. I just don't want other people telling me how I should change, because I know what I need. This brings me to my next point, which is the awareness and acceptance of, this is a mindset thing, and something I really didn't think about a lot until recently, but the difference between looking at change as something that can happen versus something that is happening. Because when you start looking at things as it's going to happen eventually, instead of it's happening right now, is like you just are constantly putting off your flow. You're hoping and waiting, but waiting is just drowning. You have to be proactive. Like, I absolutely get, like, not having the strength or energy to be proactive, but, like, sooner or later you have to pull yourself out of at least, like, a little bit every day, like, the hole you're in, or you will get stuck in it. The more you continue to look at the things you have accomplished and you are accomplishing and you're doing to make yourself better, the more you realize that you have a choice. Like, because you do have a choice. It's often not an easy choice to live your most authentic life, because sometimes the world, like, or at least it seems like the world is really pushing against you, or at least society is pushing against you. But if you are doing what needs to be done, in the end, the universe is going to have your back. And if there are hard lessons that are learned in it, then there's a reason that you're learning those lessons and taking them with you. Just this is all about, like, the importance of being present in the current moment and moving forward as you're capable in the present. Because, and this is something that we've been talking about a lot lately here, like, there's this concept of tomorrow, but tomorrow is always today. And so you can get things done, or you can continue to put them off and hope that someday that things are going to change, or you can actually take it into your hands to make your change and believe that your change is happening. And the more I've been thinking about a lot of these things, I've been talking to a couple people more and more online, because I've been getting more in the habit of talking to people in general. We put ourselves around a lot of people very intentionally that are also trying to, become better and be healthier. And it's been incredibly helpful for me, especially finding people that are kind of in very similar situations to me about being stuck and trying to not be stuck. And I did realize and recognize that I was, like, I was putting so much energy into the thought that, well, these other people are doing so much to make themselves change, and I want to continue to see them change and become healthy. But I feel like I was, like, waiting to watch that happen so that I would find some magical key, when the key is just me. And I want to become a better, healthier person so that the people that I care about, I can help them in any way that I am able and that they need, because being in a bad way makes it impossible for me to help anyone, including myself. So I really want to be healthy, not just for me, but for other people. And I recognize that I need to be looking at being healthy for me, as being as important as being healthy for other people. But I want to be helpful to other people. And I can only do that if I help myself. So I'm going to keep helping myself so I can help the people that I want. And my hope is through doing these videos and talking more openly about myself and doing these check-ins and just being my authentic self as best as I'm capable as I continue to move forward, that I can help people just from sharing my experiences and sharing my life, sharing pieces of me. And my hope is that it will give people the courage then to look at themselves and the world around them and choose how to be healthy and to live a healthier life, a happier life. That kind of brings me to the last little section here, which was talking about recognizing my limitations. And I should wrap this up pretty quickly. I'm learning to ask for help when I'm capable of it. Again, I think the reason I kind of stopped asking for help was because people would offer help or try to give help that was not necessarily helpful to me. And so, like, the people that I've come to rely on the most, I never ask them for help, or rarely, if ever, ask them for help, because I either don't want to feel like an inconvenience. I'm getting over that, because, like, constantly feel like I'm inconveniencing the people that I care about with my existence. Or more so, not even my existence, but like the fact that I am stressed and I'm not at a point of being healthy enough. That is, again, and that's more shame shit. More shame cycle shit in many aspects and ways, like that I am not inconveniencing people and that they enjoy being around me, but like I get frustrated with myself and then I impose that frustration onto other people, whether or not they feel it. And the other thing is sometimes I don't ask because I assume, and this is something we've also been talking about because seems to be a pretty universal problem. I don't always ask for help because if I'm in a bad way, I assume that everyone knows or can see that I'm in a bad way and will ask me if I want help. And that's usually not the case. People are not mind readers, and especially when you've been in a state for so long of not doing well and being basically in this disassociative, spaced out mode, people can't tell me for shit what I'm feeling. I mean, I half the time need to sit and figure out what I'm feeling. And in turn, I want to be able to help and give back to other people. And I think that the hardest thing with that is that for a long time I didn't know how or what I could do because, I mean, I don't know when we will be at a point where we are really financially stable, and we're beyond the point where we're stable and we're living comfortably. I know it will happen. I don't know when. But I can't really provide for or take care of people in a financial way, and obviously a lot of our society places a value on that capability. But I can give back to other people by making things, by providing support in the ways that I'm capable, in listening. I like listening. It's just learning like in that regard, like learning to recognize what my emotional spoons slash energy is for helping other people. I know I can't help everyone in the whole freaking world. I can't help most people, but at least like directly. And I think that sometimes I worry that if I help one person, that another person will feel left out, and that's a weird feeling to have. Like, and then I remember and I remind myself that I can't control other people and whether or not they feel jealous or hurt or whatever. I help the people, or I try to help the people that I feel like I can help if they want it. And otherwise, like, my best way that I could possibly help people, as I was talking about earlier, is really making videos and sharing myself with the world. And that was, again, the huge thing. That was like kind of the underlying theme of this, is I want to be more open and I want to share myself, because through sharing I hope that I can help other people. And that's just like, that's my life, that's my artwork, that's everything, every bit of myself, so that anyone that finds like something that they attach to in it, like they can take that, and whether it just brightens their day or makes them feel less alone, that's what I want. So moving forward, though, basically, I'm going to be trying to, because I recognize that one of my issues has been that I try to post things that are complete and all finished and perfect, and I'm going to try and be more loose with myself about that. If I don't finish something, but I finish something else, I can post that first. Or I could post the thing as a work in progress. Whatever. I'm getting better at that with photos. I need to do that with videos too, basically. I am gonna start doing regular check-ins and just talking about life stuff. So I'm gonna wrap up here, and I look forward to talking to you guys in my next videos, showing you some new artwork and stuff I've been working on. I've got to actually head out of the house real soon, so I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.